Get ready.
Got another of our steam engines now approaching.
I don't know how true that is.
No, it's actually the oldest vehicle on the run this year. It's back in 1901. It was built by our company, the which would be gear driven from the
Let's see him reverse it and see how good he is.
or to this particular example, spent all his working days in Edinburgh in the docks of the with a company who operated around the shipyards and it had really a very long life up in that part of the world. It was certainly active until the 1960s and 70s. It finally went into preservation in the later part of the last century, and its major overhaul in the mid-1990s. It has made several London to Brighton runs, because these heavy haulage locomotives were designed to haul the heaviest loads that could be hauled on the highways. The railways moved most of the goods around the country, but they didn't have a loading gauge, and if there was a large indivisible load, like say a large component for a ship, road haulage and engines of this sort, working with specially built trailers, would do the haulage work. And this one is acted today by Ian Langley from Krober, who cares for this engine. The tricks of the trade.
Got no brakes in it, so he's pushed it and it started up on its own and runs. The crane at the back of his brand spanking new lorry, into the top of the cabin in. And that's the one his son traces that lorry. He went and mentioned doing a little
alive to keep these optics running.
Oh, look at that.
The first of our fire appliances to arrive with us. This is Henry Shrimpton up at Banstead with his 1950 AC Region 3 fire appliance. This one spent all its working life on the Isle of Man, stationed at Douglas, as a major pump escape. You can see the escape ladder, that's all metal escape ladder on the back. If they arrived and they needed to get to the top of a building, that would come off the back of the appliance, be wheeled across, and then the fireman could climb up it to get it there. It came over to the UK back in 72, and it had a peculiar number plate on it, but it's got its actual brake back again now, and Henry's had this since 2007. Now we have a couple of extra trucks leading the way in the dark green livery of the 1946 Bedford MLT dockside. That's how the traders work. Turned out and showed what the work on it. And behind we have entry G1. Now this is the 1956 Bedford AC or 8 series Bedford. This one was purchased from someone who had showed the event, but it's an original Scammell, what they call a Scammell Bedford unit. It's actually a tractor unit with a Scammell coupling fitted on the back of it. It's got a Perkins P6 engine, which is actually carried from new. And P1 went back to the Morris with small truck.
They pulled well, most of they were. Didn't have a lot of speed.
A 1956 Morris dray type, quite an early example of the dray type. The barn find in the lockup in the 1980s, and it's entered by Neil Hardy
Hawley in Surrey, so it's virtually come past his front door on the way down to Brighton. The nice, very original looking van, that one.
Following in behind that with the BEA, British European Airlines name on the side of it. The time.
Yeah, another one that rusted quite well.
Yes, they were renowned for rusted.
Oh wow, that one is a huge one. Huge, 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 huge.
Now the very big Scamel recovery unit. This is built by the famous Scamel company up in Rockford. And believe it or not, this was actually built for the Canadian Army and was used as heavy recovery by that company, by the Canadian Army. Very unusual, very heavy duty crane on the back. The one that's a regular attender at rallies down here in the south of England.
And the less corn make the Dodge, which featured quite well in the 50s, 60s, in the 70s period. This one is what was almost the standard cab for medium-sized trucks at the time. You will see the similar design cab on several manufacturers' vehicles, and another way of producing the right thing at a reasonable cost. Now we have another variety of commercial vehicle, the horse box. This is a 1952 Bedford OLAZ model, long wheelbase, same engine and gearbox unit as in all the others, but bodied by Vincent's of Reading. Yes, we saw a Vincent's of Reading body a short while ago on the Belsize of 1912. Well, here they are, some 40 years later, doing what has been their bread and butter work for many years, building horse boxes. This one could take 3 horses and a groom, and it went into use down in the Gloucestershire area. Quite useful. Something you can actually use. Take the horse for a ride.
Then we go back to another later Bedford, this one, the 1958. Gary Fitz from up at Staines. And this is the Bedford D type. It had a limited production run of only about 17 months. And there was only about just under 38,000 of them built across the complete range. And it may well be the only long wheelbase one still with its 300 cubic inch Bedford diesel engine in it, in preservation. It's always a bit strange with this design of Bedford with the engine out in front of the cab. Usually with a commercial vehicle, the bigger space you can have at the back, the more loading you can have.
One of the nice things about everyone is
It's in table old colours. It's traction unit with a trailer on it, and as it came down, there's another very distinctive sound of that comma three-stroke diesel engine. They had a sound all of their own. There was no other vehicle that sounded like, and you'll hear it as it pulls away. Very, very distinctive sound. And same with Comma, Graham Wright from Canterbury.
Probably a two-story arrangement time for moving sheep, cows and things of that nature. And very often the bodies were made so they could be actually lifted off the vehicle, and the vehicle would have more than one body so they could be used for various purposes. This one is a QX Comma 1958. We're in Northern, quite a long trip down here. And came with the trophy engine which was a very successful
Now we've got another rare fire appliances, Gary Pritchard, absolutely beautiful Ford fire engine dated from 1937. This one was supplied new to R.A. Lister and company down at Jersey in Gloucestershire. They used to build engines before we had sort of electricity everywhere. They used to build little engines that used to drive water pumps, generate electricity and everything. And it was their works appliance. It then spent some time, or it changed hands, and it went to Burnbeck Island, which is up in Weston-super-Mare, and it sat on the end of the pier for a long, long time with the ravages of the weather getting at it. But Gary got hold of it and restored it back. It's a tremendous amount of work on it, and it's absolute beauty. It really is.
Now we have in the livery of the Western Sun a 1952 Boeing MG6 Foxy, a fairly small vehicle in total production. This one was used actually with a cast member on the back by a road firm in Southampton. Remember these boat entries with their car tanks come in and spray part of the roads in Sussex. They were quite a familiar sight, rather distinctive vehicle. This one's been restored with a drop-side lorry body by David West in Canterbury.
Now we've got another taxi arrived. With all the ones we've seen before have been known as black cabs, so this one's white. This is a Busmaker one, 1997. Body was built by Car Bodies, something like that.
Another small boat, this time an OG46, dating from 1955. It was a brewery lorry in North Nottingham.
Rio on the coast, and this one was another one that the late Prince Marshall actually saved, and it's got what they call an all-weather coach. It had, you can see it here today very correctly with the weather we've got, nice open to get the air through you, but of course then it could actually become enclosed, become a normal coach.
That was followed by a 1964 Land Rover 9-inch baby tank. One of the
the 1967 Ford D-Series. D-Series are very popular sort of truck, but one thing they scored over the top of the bed of the design is you had a tilt cab. You could actually tilt the whole cab forward to get access to the engine. This one was brand new to the removals company in 1967, and it was actually converted by them to a recovery vehicle in 1986.
these were a stopgap really in the post-war before they've moved on to the famous RF type on the Regal 4 chassis in about 1951.
The last one of that little group is another of the Ford D series, one dated from 1980, and this one is entered by Peter Hexel from Hawley, and this one was actually bought by a family-run business from brand new. They kept it for 7 years and then sold on. We don't know quite what happened in the meantime, but back in 2008 it was accidentally found again in the yard, hiding at the back of the bushes. Now the original owners bought it and restored it using a couple of donor lorries, done a complete restoration of it, and it looks absolutely remarkable, body on the back of it, and the workman's hut, and very much working hard on it.
Right, and another steamer with us, and probably explain why I have triple vehicles in the last few minutes. This is Entry R2, a 1910 barrel gold medal tractor, which spent his working days in Kent. These are like the type of steam engine designed to haul smaller loads. They were particularly popular with smaller contractors and local authorities for doing road repair work where they could move the materials quickly and easily from railheads to their sites. They weren't used very much for very long distance work, but they were also used around some of the northern towns and cities, again for delivering materials to and from the railway stations. This one's owned by Cell Junior from Horsham, very well known, and after they restored it, they decided to give it a real test. They did the journey from Dry Road to Land's End, so it's now known as Midway. It's only got a small trailer, some living accommodation on the back at the moment, but normally would probably have just had an open truck.
Behind that we have an ambulance built in 1972 and on probably one of the most popular chassis that any company has ever produced, the Ford Transit. And this one has been around this area all its working life. It was originally owned by St John's Ambulance and used in the Worthing area. So it went into a private owner, changed it to West Sussex Ambulance Brothers, and my one of the present owners in 2011 nearly many film and TV programmes because, you know, the interior vehicles, this is how they come. One of the famous manufacturers, Land Rovers, the best 4x4 by far they are marketed as, but they certainly are, not by I have got a couple of them. This one dates from 1973, it's a Series 3, 109 inch. It's now being bred to a tow truck, and it spent many years working for a small village garage down in Devon. Used to recover vehicles from the Whisket Park hill climb.
In the delivery of the mould for the 1987 Bedford TL. This was the later model of the Bedford. In fact, we had the moulds slightly earlier version. Number 5, which is the KF of 1980. Bedfords and Fords were the mainstay of the general market for smaller trucks, particularly builder trucks and small tippers and that sort of thing for many years. And they actually were very smart units that they were building in the 1980s through into the 90s. They had previously very successful models and they kept up the spirit, and nice to see some examples back into as new condition.
Now we're back to the little Bedfords again, engine number C19. This is a 1938 Bedford WS drop side truck. It was first used for the delivery of motor parts up and around the Manchester area until purchased by Mr. Bowen, not called in 1988, and it's been rallied in his colours ever since.
Almost the end of this group.